This is the best symptom of what is wrong with media and people as a result of media. Because, mate, I mean, we've gone over it a million times, but it's the constant pitch, it's the constant fever pitch of just screaming hysteria, which isn't true about either candidate, for fuck's sake.
No, of course not.
Neither of them are the new Hitler, pure, most evil guy who's definitely going to no. The worst thing is, you know what, we won't make this a fucking politics podcast, but I'll just say this one thing. America for the last fucking, I'm going to say 50 years has just been two slightly left of center candidates available to you, which typically tend to be mildly progressive with progressive from 5 years ago. That's the fucking illusion of choice. And that's how you know, by the way, that someone is borderline mentally ill. When they take those two candidates I just described and they make it the most extreme ends of are you for real?
Right. This is all you need to know about it, right? What are the odds, okay, that you exist in the most crucial time?
Yes.
In human history,
can't be the most important, can it? Come on.
Right? You exist in the most crucial time for all human evolution and human development in a country that is just so happening to have some sort of fundamental existential crisis. It wasn't an existential crisis in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s. Vietnam wasn't an existential crisis. The Kennedy assassination wasn't an existential. No, this is the most dangerous time for American democracy.
We're literally doing
just now.
Communists in Hollywood. That wasn't a big deal at all. It was just some minor
there was a huge sprawling conspiracy to shoot a president in the head, right, on TV.
We even saw the fucking video of it, for God's sake.
Right, yeah, but it's now. Democracy's under threat now. Not that conspiracy that we still haven't got to the bottom of, where it's just all lies and bullshit, and there's still fucking agents doing psyops on the Joe Rogan podcast telling you, I've nothing to see here. In fact, actually, I've seen the evidence, which I definitely can't share with you. But it was Oswald the whole time.
Look how crazy this is. This is one of the reasons, Richard, why I don't get tricked by a lot of the current stuff. People like your boy Anders are obviously loving all this disclosure stuff about aliens. Anders, they won't tell you 50 plus years after the fact what actually happened to Kennedy or show you any of the other videos. But they're going to release that aliens are real, are they, mate? Homie, I think I've got a job at Australis. That's a volunteer position that you can take. Are you kidding me? Dude, they still won't release that info. There's probably no one alive right now who's even implicated in the crime. If they're not going to release that, they're never going to release anything of value, are they? Come on. If they do, it's a psyop in itself, obviously. No. Come on.
But yeah, so it's so absurd. I've talked about it so many times, on my show. Listen, I get it. Not a Trump fan. Why would I be a fan of some fucking ultra wealthy guy that, as far as I can tell, in billionaire terms at least, has kind of consistently failed upwards his entire life? Had some successful projects, sure, but in general, just strikes me as a bit of a classic New Yorker, a bit of a boorish, oafish moron that because he came from new money, sort of gets to just live that lifestyle, right? So obviously that's got nothing in common with me. Not the kind of person that I would have any truck with at all. But the idea that, right, Ronald Reagan, didn't he? I always get mixed up if it's Ronald Reagan or George Bush. But one of them just banned people with AIDS from coming in the country. Apparently that wasn't the most bigoted thing of all time. If you just had AIDS, you just couldn't come into America anymore. That strikes me as kind of a bigoted thing, but not a problem. George Bush, he appointed oil magnates to the EPA, set up literal torture camps all around the world and rendition people, refused to testify in front of the 9/11 Commission, would only do it alongside Dick Cheney, and certainly wouldn't swear an oath underneath it. Then dragged us into a war that killed literal hundreds of thousands, all the while that the companies his cabinet had private associations to got rich. It's where were these fucking hysterical, shrieking lunatics back then? Oh, that's right. We didn't have social media and we didn't have 24-hour news cycles to the degree that we do today. Do you think maybe the media is the problem, guys? And actually, it's not as bad as you think. Maybe.
Think about this. Imagine the media as an enormous magnifying glass that can take a postage stamp and make it look like it's the size of a building. Now you know why every problem is the end of the world. They aren't the end of the world. Mate, the last election was supposed to be the end of the world. Remember, Richard, this guy was going to kill everyone and put all his political opponents in prison camps and kill them all.
I know, yeah.
If it happened, it will never happen.
Right. And as well, just to show you why you can never have a conversation about politics, especially with this audience. Somebody just literally asked in chat, right, after I just said, like, not a fan of Donald Trump in any way, shape, or form.
So you're a Trump supporter?
Yeah, so, literally. So Richard Lewis is a MAGA then? Why would I care if America's great? You're fucking absolute cretin. Why would I give a shit? I don't even live there. Why would I care if a fucking country I don't live? This is how you know that people are mentally ill. Why do you define your life by American politics? It couldn't affect you less. Oh, global fascism, the rise of fascism. Oh, no fascism. What, like America ain't been doing mad shit all around the fucking world for fucking decades? Like America isn't fucking propping up dictators and fucking evil regimes around the world. Isn't in bed with fucking Saudi Arabia despite proven ties to 9/11, the worst terrorist atrocity committed on its fucking soil. But now that a non-establishment candidate gets elected, oh, now it's the rise of fascism. You people are fucking brain dead. You people are brain dead. I couldn't care if America was great or if it was a fucking third world country shithole. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. And I know it doesn't affect me because I'm not mentally ill. Sat there, tell me more, social media, tell me more what to think. I must tweet Orange Man bad 50 times a day because I don't have an identity anymore. Where were you people when Bush was ravaging the fucking planet? Where were you when he eroded civil liberties and brought in the Patriot Act? Nowhere. You didn't have a Twitter account, you fucking idiots.
Well, we'll be bipartisan. Where were all the people who were crying their eyes out about people who have tried to illegally enter the country being held in inhumane conditions? Where were those people when Obama was killing? I think the stat is something like 75% of people who were drawn turned out to be like the wrong person or something. Y'all were okay with people basically playing video games, murdering people in the Middle East, their families at weddings and stuff. Everyone was just cool with that apparently because he's a nice guy. What? Like, all the politics is absolute dog shit in there. Hey, I'll tell everyone the spoiler. Just from the little I've got to experience in my industry, fucking professional video games, I'll go ahead and guess right now, all of them are cunts in politics. They're all liars, cunts, piece of shit, already bought and sold, paid for up front, who are just saying words that another person told them to say, and at best they had a minor amount of saying it. So the idea you think any of these are people to pick from as heroes and people to look up to and admire, and this guy's going to save us, you're out of your fucking mind. Have a look at it. Crack a history book, boys. You'll find in every single scenario, they always turn out to be full of shit. Always.
To just put it into context, right, because I know people don't really care about history or anything like that, because it's just what's in front of you today. Tell me more, Lord. Tell me more. Right. There was a 16-year-old American citizen that got killed by a drone strike in Yemen. And Donald Trump launched a drone strike that killed that person's sister. It's the same shit, you sports ball cretins. Red, blue, it's the same. It's the same. All of the theatre is to fool you. It's the same. It's been the same for decades. How are you getting dumber? How are you getting dumber when it is so self-evidently all the same? You have these decades worth of evidence and examples, and you still fall into the same trap over and over again. And this time it's real, and this time I'm important, and this time I must make a stand and vote and vote and vote. The vote is the most important vote. This is all for me. It's your narcissism. It's your fucking narcissism, you deluded cunts. Don't you get it? You're not important. In fact, statistically, the likelihood is you are insignificant. You have crafted a narrative in your mind to stop that reality driving you insane, and you have replaced it with another insanity. If you cannot see that, you cannot be helped. You cannot be saved. There is no extended arm to pull you out of that fucking existential quagmire that you are in.
Mate, I'll tell you one thing to wrap this up on my end is when you were saying there about how you've had to start literally phase people out in esports. I've not only had that, but I'll tell you the saddest thing I've ever seen, because I've seen people I actually knew in the industry say this on Twitter and social media, is you know when they make those posts where they literally explain that they're going to cut off key members of their actual blood family because that person's going to vote for the other side in an election. Like, that is actually, I'm not joking, guys. That is a very serious sign of you have mental illness. Like, you should legitimately seek help for this. Because the idea that your piss insignificant little vote in an election, which, by the way, spoiler, again, I'd go looking at any past election, they're all rigged. They're all rigged on some level. Not entirely. Some of them are rigged in a tiny way, or in this county, or this area. But you notice it's only ever explained when it's the other side that's rigging it. You'll always find that your side's not rigging it. They're all rigging it, you idiot. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, as they say in America. So the idea that your shitty little vote that might not even decide anyone's election anywhere is going to be what you're going to, like, disown your own father on. Jesus, is that where society's come to? I don't know if you know this, but the Romans and the Greeks had it right. The first thing you have loyalty to is your family. It's never the fucking state or like some party leader over your own family. What the fuck has society come to? It's no wonder like the fucking media is just running riot with people if they can convince them of shit like that. Jesus.
But anyway, so yeah, that's why you should put Steven Seagal in.